The nature has its own unique way of testifying our survival in this earth. And for that, we must owe a lot to the building construction fraternity. India has the testimony of robust infrastructures, heritage buildings, monuments, forts standing intact for centuries, yet their resiliencies to earthquake shaking are shrouded with mystery. Earthquakes strike suddenly without giving us much time to warning, and it occurs all seasons of the year, mostly at some of the predefined areas of the earth crust at any time of the day and night. Safe buildings are the backbone of human coping capacity to healthy living, but their resilience to earthquake shaking are not really known to homeowners. India experienced 4 M8 plus earthquakes between 1897 to 1950 along the Himalaya, which is the rarest in the world for any country. The loss of life and property damages due to Latur in 1993, Bhuj in 2001, Kashmir 2005, and more recently by Sikkim 2011 earthquakes have seriously exposed vulnerable built infrastructures in the country. The irony of the fact is that while such earthquakes killed tens of thousands of lives, the same could hardly do any serious impact in Japan or California. This means, given the vulnerable conditions prevalent in our built environment, our earthquake preparedness and its accountability needs thorough auditing. And for that, we must ensure quality construction and monitoring of the upcoming buildings as a first and foremost step towards earthquake resilience.
This film on NITM is most comprehensive source on individual, family and community preparedness. The aim of the film is to provide public with the most current and up-to-date earthquake preparedness information available suiting Indian built environment and temperament.
Are you living in earthquake-prone area of the country? Do you know that more than 60% of country's land area is severely earthquake-prone? Is your building safe? Is it possible to live with earthquake? Yes, it is possible. This video provides step-by-step approach to earthquake preparedness.
In India, as many as 38 cities with a population of over 500,000 each are located in seismically active zones 3, 4 and 5. This includes the 4 megacities Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai and Chennai. Considering the large number of unsafe buildings and high density of population in cities, any earthquake of even moderate intensity would cause catastrophic damages to people, property, and infrastructure. The frequency of earthquake is maximum in the northeast region. 1 M5 and above earthquake occurs every 4 to 5 months in the northeastern region of India. Realizing that, building plans are usually sanctioned without structural details. Rather, more importance are given to floor area ratio, that is FAR, than performance guarantee during expected earthquake. Having an on-site check on constructions by designated building experts is a mere formality. Despite the country is having well-developed earthquake codes since 1962, the common temperament has been more on cost compromise than taking safety measures as per codes. Building constructions in the country are mostly managed by the unorganized sectors, and enforcement of building bylaws a bigger issue than ensuring safety standards. Irregular geometry in elevation and plans, improper positioning of beams and columns, out-of-frame partition walls, etc. makes buildings more vulnerable to earthquake. Some of the features in buildings that become easy target by earthquakes are: in 29% of India's geographical area, including Delhi NCR, buildings with bricks, stones as load-bearing walls are not earthquake resistant. Multi-story RCC framed buildings in many new urban areas are having stilt or soft story, irregular columns, inebriated shear walls and foundation, These are vulnerable to earthquake shaking, which needs check on their expected performance. For instance, Bhuj earthquake that happened in 2001 affected many multi-story buildings in Ahmedabad, which is more than 200 kilometers away from the epicenter. Chances of such buildings in Delhi NCR getting affected from earthquakes in the Himalaya are high. Buildings having irregular plans, elevations, floating walls and cantilever projections are severely affected by earthquakes. Buildings that are constructed along the property boundaries with eccentric footings becomes more vulnerable due to pounding effect. Buildings that are poorly constructed, extended, altered, without proper expertise are vulnerable to earthquake shaking. Seeing this cause of vulnerable buildings in the earthquake hazard-prone area, it's really difficult to bring accountability to building performance. Homeowners and common people are not much motivated to take up this challenge, possibly due to low probability event as the earthquake is. But destructions caused by moderate, that is M6 plus earthquakes in India have been far-reaching because our buildings were not constructed as per norms. The fragile built environment must be checked or reviewed, and they can no longer be overlooked. Hence, preparedness in terms of building response to future earthquake will be an implausible mind game till we start looking at quality assurance in the ongoing constructions as an immediate step. As far as undergoing of the earthquake goes till date, no one can prevent earthquakes from happening again. But preparedness and safe building construction practices can certainly reduce the extent of damage and loss. Therefore, it becomes imperative to construct at least our own buildings as per method prescribed in Bureau of Indian Standard Codes. It is true that NIDM and many other institutions and organizations such as IITs, BMTPC, CBRI, NITs have embarked upon several awareness campaigns, including mega earthquake drills by NDMA. Yet, mass-scale capacity building of the masons, who are closely akin to common people construction, needs more emphatic campaigns than anything else. Let us look at some of the important aspects that can have a direct bearing on the safety of the buildings. Rooftop water tank not firmly connected to the main columns. Multi-story apartment building with car parking in open or stilled floors. Building with wide ventilations and extended open veranda. Horizontal extension or modification in buildings by disturbing load-bearing walls and columns. Beams and columns not positioned centrally. Hidden beams and flat slabs not conforming to design standards. Poor quality construction materials and concreting, mostly handmade. Floating walls and columns. Facade and cladding that conceals construction defects. Beam column joints not conforming to standards given in IS codes. Adding of floors and concreting without proper curing. Clear cover for concrete not being maintained. Compromising with the size and shape of beams and columns while giving too much importance to architectural beauties and interiors. Signage, tars, mumties, etc. not firmly attached with structural members. Colonies in areas with three sides closed and very little space for emergency operations. Tall buildings beyond the reach of fire tenders without designated fire escape and mandatory firefighting devices as per BIS code. Inebriated firefighting installations in many buildings of strategic importance.
Earthquake happens, we cannot stop earthquake from happening. Earthquake generates wave, but how waves affect our building and establishment? This model shows you that how these waves is transmitted to the building. So what you can see that when earthquake comes from distant place more than 200-300 kilometer away, see that will affect the building. See, tall building is getting affected from the distant earthquake. But when local earthquake within 30-40 kilometer will generate high frequency wave, you see shorter building, taller building is not affected, shorter building is affected severely. But when these waves comes, when we have some device to stop this wave transmitting to our building. In that case, this is a small device for base isolation. You see, this is a base and this is say building. Here I am giving a vibration. And you see the difference that the moment of vibration that I am giving at the base, it is not coming over here. Now you see this is a 4-story building, first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor. This one is when it is vibrating, when waves is acting on this, you see that each and every component is agitated here. Depending on this height, somewhere it is stiff, somewhere it is very flexible. This building is a typical G+4 story. And here, this building, when it is vibrated, these are same height. But when you see, these are typical with open veranda and other things. And you can see also that here the doors and window, they are placed in such a way that as per code, that they should be placed in this manner at the center. And when this building is vibration is being given here, you see, vibration is completely different than this one. But when I am keeping this building over the base isolation device and giving the vibration, you see this vibration is not at all transmitting to the building. So these are the devices which are used. In fact, in India, after Bhuj earthquake, Bhuj hospital has been reconstructed using this kind of device. So the main meaning is that through this model, you are able to see that earthquake vibration comes depending on the distance. Their effect on buildings in certain locality is different. And when vibration we cannot stop, but we have some device and technology to stop that. But this technology is very costly. There are several other technology and know-how available by which you can make your building earthquake resistant.
The material used for the construction of building plays an important part in ensuring the safety of a building. Therefore, the choice of quality construction material is of paramount importance. You should always buy building materials from standard shops and should not get carried away by anyone or by the idea of cheaper or local alternatives. Structures made up of substandard construction material may save you some money, but it will result in a building which will fail to withstand the onslaught of an earthquake. You can ensure the safety of your loved ones by providing them the security of earthquake-resistant houses and buildings made from quality construction material. And for that, you must rely on prescribed codes, standards under the supervision of building experts. Once again, buying best building materials from open market does not ensure earthquake safety to your dream house. You need to take advice from expert civil engineer on record, under whose supervision all architectural and interior requirements, foundation, basement facilities, bar bending, concreting, curing, plumbing, electrical wiring, etc. to be ensured. For new constructions in earthquake-prone areas, extra costs generally should not exceed to 10% of the total. In many cases, too much of the precaution are taken for which cost may increase substantially. But earthquake-resistant measures have to be just appropriate, not too much and not too less. Many of you must be spending a lot on high-quality steel and thinking that your house will be more safe. It's not true. One of the reasons for Lalita Park building collapse in East Delhi was too much of reinforcing bars. Even more than 25 mm diameter were used at one beam column junction, which failed suddenly. The concrete at that junction got weakened due to prolonged saltwater intrusion caused by waterlogging. For the existing house, you can get it assessed and seek advice from experts. Some aspects even you can check by yourself. Are you living in multi-story apartment building with open story or stilt parking? Experts can help in retrofitting the same.
ऐसे लगा खचा बना करके ये जो स्ट्रेंथ ऑलरेडी खत्म हो चुका है, इसका जो है बढ़ाने के लिए ये रेट्रोफिटिंग मतलब जैकेटिंग करके ये पूरा कॉलम का जो है एरिया बढ़ा करके इसमें जो है इसका स्ट्रेंथ ट्रांसफर लोड ट्रांसफर करने का प्रयास किया गया है.
Is your house constructed on loose sandy silty soil without tie beam and proper foundation? They can be strengthened to carry even extra load from extra floor if required. Are the bar bending schedule followed during construction as per code? At least ensure that all tie bars are of 8 mm diameter and their ends are bent at 135 degrees. Is there any modification or extension or alteration done to your building? Is your building occupying full plot area with 3 sides closed? Based on many such points, NIDM has prepared a RVS format with 25 questions which you can provide first-hand information or report on the earthquake safety of your house. Based on the report, a decision by experts can be taken whether to retrofit or let your house remain as such. The Ludlow Castle School building in Delhi was retrofitted in 2006 with expenditure well within one-third cost of reconstructing it. In the same manner, you can also retrofit your houses by spending only a fraction of the actual expenditure needed to rebuild it. But behold that your house must be evaluated by expert civil engineers. In the name of retrofitting, many agencies are coming up, but be sure of their expertise. Get advice from NIDM. An amateur and technically lacking construction worker or contractor is unaware of the steps and precautions that ensure a safe structure against earthquake. It is not difficult to build or construct an earthquake-resistant building. Do not ignore or compromise with the structural safety of your building. Constructing new earthquake-resistant structures or ensuring the safety of the existing ones by the technique of retrofitting entails only a fraction of the original cost, but it goes a long way to ensure the safety of you and your loved ones. A civil engineer technically equipped to make your already built or constructed house into an earthquake-resistant one is to be approached for retrofitting. But please note that retrofitting is not panacea to all deficient buildings. Behold that not all buildings can be retrofitted. For poorly constructed buildings, cost of retrofitting are either substantial or for buildings with all 3 sides closed, retrofitting is not at all feasible. For only selected few, say those buildings having few meters of working space on all 4 sides, retrofitting schemes can be undertaken. Even in some cases, partial retrofitting are undertaken to ensure life safety. To ensure that buildings coming up in your locality are structurally sound and have earthquake-resistant measures in place, let National Building Code 2005 be strictly followed. Though it's not possible to construct earthquake-proof building, it's possible to avoid catastrophic damage. For engineered building, much of the damage in earthquakes is predictable and repairable. You must work together in your communities to apply your knowledge to buildings codes. Take expert consultation and advice. Conduct building health assessment camps, retrofitting programs, hazard hunts, and take part in neighborhood and family emergency preparedness plans. Behold that earthquake cannot be predicted, and for that, don't wait till another quake ravages your locality too. Buildings codes are to be treated as our sacred Gita or Bible. Country needs a good number of experts or interpreters of such codes who are capable of transforming coded version to common man's benefit. And for that, NIDM is constantly engaged in serving such needs across the country. Always remember, it is worth to be prepared at your own level than waiting for government action afterwards. After all, living life safely is your priority. Earthquake does not kill. It is the unsafe buildings that causes more harm.